Although I think you sell yourself short. I don't think you would cause cataclysmic destruction if you had superpowers. I guess.
And if I had $1 million, I probably would buy a jet ski, I guess, too, right?
But I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know.
If Mark ever gets superpowers, he won't tell you, but there'll be signs.
I was gonna say if I'm not getting superpowers, I know who I'm voting for to get superpowers just to see what happens. Hey, welcome to the Infinity Bros podcast, the only podcast that is perfectly balanced as all things should be. I am your host, Max Mosier. I am joined with me today by the man who goes deep into the weeds, who is, as Isaac would call him, the tinfoil hat distributor of the Infinity Bros podcast. It is the one, the only, Mark Jones. Mark, how are you?
I'm doing good. Well, with all the crazy, what used to be conspiracy 5 years ago and 6 years ago is now true, everyone can take those tinfoil hats off because I guess it's all real.
See, this is where I wish the people understood what I have to go through on a day-to-day basis when it comes to Instagram reels that Mark sends me every day. Every day. It's a new conspiracy.
Well, insight to one of my favorites that's recent is the Tulsi Gabbard stuff with the files about basically Fauci and the U.S. government like funding that research. And it's like, that was stuff that was talked about during COVID. And everyone was like, oh, you're just, conspiracy theorist crazy. Now our own government's telling us it was really happening. And Max has to eat crow for it. So that's what's great.
That's not what I'm doing. I just smile and wave. And anybody who has any political anti-ness to their podcast selection is out the door. But that's neither here nor there.
That's not political. That's human lives, I think. That's a world political thing. You're going to even get into it. It's not just the United States. The whole world was affected by COVID, Max. Don't you remember that?
They were.
Rudy Gobert ruined it for all of us.
We were. If you want to hear about Mark's thoughts on the World Cup, and if you'd like to hear some other content exclusively that happened that has nothing to do with COVID.
Apparently, there's people that don't cheer for the team they're from. Their nationality.
You can get more context to that inside joke in the Patreon for as low as $1 or $2 a month. We'd love to have you follow us and be part of the Infinity Bros universe.
If you donate $2 a month, that feeds Zane for 3 days.
Is it 3 whole days?
3 whole days.
Zane, well, and thank you for saying this, Mark, because if you don't know, if this is your first time checking us out, maybe you're looking for a Supergirl review. We are a rotating cast of 5 Infinity Bros that chat music, movies, pop culture, television, and all sorts of things. So we hope that you enjoy listening to us today. And we love breaking down big movies. And this is a big one because it continues in the second installment from a film perspective in the DC cinematic universe, led by the one, the only James Gunn. And so today we're talking about the 2026 release here in June of Supergirl, directed by Craig Gillespie, written by Anna Noguera, and with producers Peter Safran, and of course the runner of DC Studios, James Gunn. Mark, talk me through your rating as it stands today of the Superman movie that was released a year ago.
Man, I do not remember my original rating, so I will give you one that I have now. And I think I probably would still have it, or I'm assuming it was over a 5. I probably would have it at a 5.5 still. I like the story and the flow of the whole movie. I was a big fan of it. Lex Luthor was great, so...
I really liked Superman as well. I gave it a 5.5. I would probably still have it at a 5.5 out of 6. And it's we have a yearly show where we give our best favorite movies of the year. I gave it my number 3 movie of 2025, and I stand by that. If you're unfamiliar with our rating system, you're going to hear us rate things on this episode. You're going to hear us rate movies, people, ideas, maybe other projects. We want to make sure you're familiar with that rating system.
Here on the Infinity Bros podcast, everything is ranked from a 0 to 6 point scale. 0 meaning horrible, and 6 meaning absolutely excellent. If all of the Infinity Bros rank something a 6, it gets an Infinity Step.
Main cast for Supergirl is Millie Alcock. She returns as Kara Zor-El. She had a cameo appearance at the end of Superman last year, Eve Ridley is Ruthie Mari Knoll, excuse me. Matthias Skonartz is Krem of the Yellow Hills. Jason Momoa returns to the DC properties, this time instead of Aquaman. He has become Lobo. I'm looking forward to talking about Lobo with you, Mark. I feel like you're going to have strong opinions about that. David Corenswet, obviously, is Kal-El, aka Clark Kent Superman. Emily Beecham as Allura and Z. And then Ferdinand Kingsley as Elias Knoll. And Diremaid Murtaugh as Drom Braxton. This is a 1 hour and 48 minute PG-13 movie. Forbes report floated that a $200 million budget cost was what was having to be taken place for this movie. Some listings have had it closer to 170 million. It's hard to say, but it probably needs to break that 300 to 400 million dollar number to break even. As it stands today, June 28th, it has a $38 million domestic box office with a 68 million global launch. It is second place right now behind Toy Story 5. You can check out our review of Toy Story 5 actually coming out later this week on the Infinity Bros podcast if you're wondering where our thoughts are on that. So right now we're looking at a total domestic of probably between 70 to 116 million. That's according to the Hollywood Reporter as well as Box Office Watch. And the big story right now, Mark, and the reason I talked pre-show on the Patreon review that I was looking forward to seeing this movie was the 58% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes with a 77% audience score, which I think you tend to care more about the audience score. I tend to care more about the Rotten Tomatoes score. But the score I think that is interesting is noting is the B- cinema score, which is lower than a typical superhero movie, which historically, according to Box Office Watch, comes out to an A average. So we're going to start with our non-spoiler reviews because maybe you've come to hear it and you are gathering some insight and some perspective before you go see it later this week. So I'm going to pass it off to Mark. Mark, would you give us a non-spoiler review and a rating for Supergirl?
Sure. A non-spoiler review. Coming into this, I didn't, watch too many of I think I only watched the first trailer and that's it. So kind of just came into this really fresh, excited for Lobo. But my overall review, we come into Zor-El as an angsty young adult who doesn't have a purpose. And so through, the next almost 2 hours, that drive and purpose and sense of belonging starts to evolve and kind of like the birth of a hero. And we get that through, someone else's family being murdered and the survivor looking for help. And basically Kara's thrust into that. And then that all, diverges into the whole story. And I will start this. My rating of it was a 4.5. And I think that comes down to pacing and tempo of this movie was really a struggle for me, just kind of following it through. And it also felt like there was identity missing in this movie. Like I couldn't tell if it wanted to be a comedy action movie or like a serious action movie. And there was some divide in my mind with that. I did like some of the flashbacks to Krypton and how they bubbled the city that they were on, which then to me like directly is like, okay, clearly the city's gonna be taken by Brainiac at some point because that's gonna be the big bad, I think, in the second.
Yeah, that's a clear. It appeared to me, that's a spoiler, so got to tread carefully here. We apologize if that is a spoiler to you. It felt like there was something in her past that connects to the future,
right,
of the next Superman movie.
I think a big thing for me, and I loved how they used him, was Lobo in this movie. Didn't feel forced, and it definitely felt grounded and comic booky to me, if that's how you want to take that, where there were scenes where it's like, here's Lobo, and then he's all of a sudden in the next scene, it's like, well, how did he get there? It's like, well, that's just perfect comic book trope. Like, of course he's there because it's a plot device. He's got to be there for the next, sequence. But overall, I mean, it was a good summer action movie, I would say. Like, this is a movie I would say go see in theaters, like see it in 3D. That's always my shtick is like, if there's a 3D version of it, I gotta go see it because, that's where I'm not gonna get a 3D showing at my house. But yeah, overall, I think Millie Alec does a good job at Supergirl, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know, you probably clearly don't think so.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that yet. I
think she did a good job. I'm curious when the battle becomes too serious, how the actor will portray Supergirl, like how she'll portray for going that manner. Like, how does she stand toe to toe with Darkseid whenever that may or may not come? So
Okay, so 4.5 out of 6 from Mark. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, buddy. I'll lead with that, I guess, because if you're just listening, you're not seeing my face. I don't think that she did a great job in this,
yeah.
Millie Alcock. I genuinely believe most of the time in these DC properties, they've gotten casting right. This is one of the very few times I can say I feel like I disagreed with it. Now, that being said, I really liked what I saw in the Superman movie with her. And I was like, all right, we're good. I'm game. I totally see where this person is. So I'm chalking it up to writing and directing, not to the casting of the individual itself. I am open to giving her another shot and letting her
Yeah, that's what
continue
I
to
felt.
portray about.
I would agree with that.
I just
Yeah.
don't think she was set up for success in this. And we'll get into that more in the spoiler portion of this. This movie is so fascinating to me because the set pieces, the locations they shoot, the design of the aliens, the costumes, the quasi Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars, Firefly aesthetic of this alien movie.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed what I was seeing. I really, really loved what I saw visually. And I see how it fits into the greater picture of the DC universe. And she
Hmm.
feels right where she's supposed to be, as well as Crypto the dog, who is in this movie. That being said, I have a lot of big issues with the story of this, especially the third act. I know a lot of people are debating that online. And unfortunately, I am also one of those people, and we will get into that. So if you've heard reviews, you probably know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, hang in there. I have a couple personal gripes with the story for her, and I think a story decision from Superman really hurt this movie in more ways than I expected coming into it. Now we'll talk about that in the spoiler review. I don't like when a movie constantly has to tell me this character is really good, trust this character, and doesn't have a payoff. This is one of those movies. It is, in my opinion, better than Black Widow. It is worse than Captain Marvel. And I'm comparing them to female superheroes because it took the MCU 20, 21, 22 movies to get a female led superhero movie. So I applaud the DC universe for making this their second film. I applaud them for that. So I don't think it has to do with that. I think it has to do with the story. So I'm going to give this movie a 3.5 out of 6.
Oh, okay.
I'm not calling it the worst movie ever. I'm still open to what the DC universe has. I am still open to where Supergirl has to go with it. But I think you're going to see a lot of spoiler conversations about this movie, including ours, because of what you see in the movie, which is why I actually do, even with the 3.5 out of 6, recommend you go see it in theaters, because I think you should go decide for yourself. Because I think some people are going to walk away from this going, those decisions did not land with me. And other people are going to go see it and go, you know what? I see the vision of what James Gunn is doing, of what Craig is doing, and I wanted to go there.
I've seen a lot of TikTok people review this and like kind of poo-poo all. Maybe we just want to go into
We do.
the
I,
spoiler
I
of
just
it.
want to be abundantly clear. This has nothing to do with the fact this is like a female led superhero. I think that is an important thing to state
Yes.
right now in this era, because for some reason, some people are making that claim in the comic book world,
Hmm.
and some of the best IP going around has great female superheroes. So I'm just trying, I want to make that abundantly clear in my
Sure.
assessment.
And this would be more so on just like totally going off of critics on your whether you should go watch it or not. Because on TikTok, I've seen a lot of people kind of poo-pooing Lobo and Jason Momoa. Where like to me, it's just like that was to me some of the best stuff of the movie, in my opinion. So like if you're that person, it's just like that's where I think we're on the same page with this. No matter our gripes, it's like go see it
Yeah,
because it's still fun. I think it's still at the
agreed.
end of the day fun. But there are some like if you're going to start nitpicking, yeah, it can be. I mean, that's any movie, but there's some stuff in here where
There's
it's
some
like,
people going for clicks and hot takes right now saying like this is the
yeah,
worst superhero movie ever. That is not true, guys. That is just, we've seen a lot worse movies from the superhero genre, and that is not even close to where we are right now. This is, and I'll get into this in the spoiler part, a step back in my opinion for the DC universe, but next year when the next Superman movie comes out, I'm sure they can rewrite a lot of things.
well, and honestly, they don't have to rewrite anything for this movie because nothing really could touch the story. Is basically this movie was just not even to push a story, it's just basically a character building story for Supergirl to like why she's going to be back where she's going to
Yeah.
be at the end of the movie. And
Yeah.
that's
I think this movie is better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think this movie is better than Incredible Hulk. I think it's better than Black Widow. I think it's better than Thor: The Dark
better
World.
than Quantumania.
I think it's better than Quantumania. I think it's better than Doctor Strange 2. I think it's better than Agatha All Along. I think it's better than a lot of properties that people
Don't come
hold in
on
high
Doctor
high.
Strange 2 like that. Okay, can't have that blasphemy in this house.
Watch me. Watch me. If you're sticking around for the spoiler review, we're going to go ahead and put the bumper for that right here. If not, thanks for the download, and we hope to see you again soon.
This is
Prepare yourself.
an Infinity Bros
Prepare yourself.
spoiler warning.
All right, Mark, let's get into the spoilers real quick.
Yeah.
So
Wasn't
I
it
want to
crazy
talk about.
that Batman showed up in space?
Can you imagine somebody accidentally didn't get off and wait, what, Batman's there? So I broke it down into a couple different ways that I want to talk about this. You get right into the weeds right away, and I know how you are. I want to save the Brainiac stuff to the end
That's
because I knew you were going to talk Brainiac.
That was the only thing. Like I was trying to piece that together, where I was like, that's not really the only thing that really grasped me. That be like, that's like, okay, what are they going to do with this? Clearly, like if you know your DC lore, like that's big.
That 100%.
I honestly, I'm sorry, I'm
was a future
I thought her dad was going to create Brainiac to get them out of there. That's what I thought was going to happen. And like,
that'd have been really cool.
Anyways,
yeah, that'd have been really cool. Yeah, no, I love that.
I'm assuming because of the actor they chose, I won't be surprised if he ends up being Brainiac.
So. David Krumholtz
or voicing.
No, because they already hired Brainiac, didn't they? No, they already.
I don't know, maybe we're getting tuned to the weeds. Anyways, go to your stuff.
Yeah. Lars Edinger. Remember, Lars Edinger has been cast already. And remember, he was kind of nobody really knows who he is, and so he's kind of a little bit of a nobody unless you're watching like very, very niche projects. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about maybe the elephant in the room of this movie, which is the fact that I want to talk about what everybody else is talking about on their shows, because I just want to get into that right away and rip that Band-Aid off.
Rip it off.
And that is the decision, the biggest gripe I'm hearing that I, full transparency, parallel with. I walked out of the movie going like, what the heck? And I did not know about this until after I left. I'd watched a couple reviews after I left. And that is the decision to not let the whole movie she's fighting with Ruthie on don't kill, don't kill, don't kill. And the second she takes the sword from her, kills Krem. And I got to tell you, Mark, from a storytelling perspective, that's a very big miss to me. And that is a miss on this character.
You wanted the 13-year-old girl to kill this guy?
No, I didn't want anything.
You wanted the decision. I'm also happy that they let him. Okay, go on. I'm sorry. I'm not going to.
No, I'm just being real. From the logic that she was giving us, don't kill her. It's not worth it. I want Supergirl. The whole premise of her mom saying, you're good, be good. You can be grumpy, you can be blah, blah, but you got to be good. And I really felt like that was so not landing with the execution with this movie. I kind of walked out going like, what am I thinking of Supergirl? Do they know what they think of what Supergirl is? Do they know if Supergirl's good or an anti-hero or just a jerk? Like, Lobo had more character concreteness than she did. And
yeah, I don't know about that, because I feel like them kept talking about that. It's like, to me, it's Supergirl's not going to let Ruthie kill Krem. It's going to be Supergirl at the end.
Of course.
I wasn't expecting the sword. I was expecting like laser eyes. Like that would have been more brutal. But ultimately, she had to take that out. It's like, you weren't going to let someone like this live. This dude enslaved women. Like, you're not going to let this. This isn't a walk away situation. I think what this does is showing that total character difference between Supergirl and Superman. Superman's not going to, probably wouldn't have killed him. Supergirl will. So we might have some of that coming down in future projects, that Supergirl will be willing to do what it takes, and maybe Superman won't because of his more compassion. So I think that's what we're going to get.
And to your credit, the granny goodness, dark side kind of shtick could play and factor in that if they go a couple movies from now. I am okay, Mark, with her killing. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying you can't beat me over the head the last third act and go, don't kill, don't kill, don't kill. It's not worth it. Be good, be good, be good.
But it was
she stabs him. It's just
brutal. It was to Ruthie. That's how I took it. She doesn't want, because she like the whole thing is, if Ruthie does it, that changes her life forever. She can never take that back.
She's talking to herself. She's totally. Ruthie's character is in place as a device for our protagonist to talk to her younger self. And I don't agree with the decision. I've heard a few people say it, but I'm just so against that choice. I don't need my Supergirl to be nerdy. Okay, I love that they are being intentional with Superman being nerdy and quirky and like, oh shucks, he doesn't swear. And last year, a lot of people hated how Ma and Pa Kent were. I disagree. I
Yeah, they look
loved
like
that
just regular people. That's what I like.
they
And
were
they didn't
they
cast.
were
Yeah,
unbelievable job. I thought I was
yeah,
like, that's how you do it new. But I think there's a huge wrestling match here with Supergirl, and I referenced this in my non spoilers. I think the decision to have Kal-El's parents send him to essentially take over a planet really bit this movie in the butt because
yeah.
I think
Oh, yeah.
it made this. I think a huge reason people aren't going to like this movie is because they were handcuffed with that decision. So essentially, her arc becomes what the original Superman's arc is. He comes to Earth. He becomes a good guy. She comes to Earth. She's an angsty teenager, and it's just kind of annoying. And
Hmm.
so the whole first chunk of the movie, she's just being an angsty teenager, which is or angsty adolescent, I'll call her, late adolescent. And again, I got no problem with that. There's a ton of great protagonists that wrestle with alcoholism or wrestle with they struggle at the front end. I've got no problem with that in a movie like this, especially a space odyssey like this. But to put her in a situation where it looked like, I'm putting the suit on, I am going to be good. And then she doesn't kill him with her fists. She doesn't kill him with the laser eyes, which by the way, I loved that. They used more laser eyes in this movie than any Superman movie's ever
Yeah,
done.
I
That's a
was.
positive.
Yeah,
That is a
I love
positive
that.
for this movie.
Well, there were some scenes just going laser eyes. It was like, why aren't you using your laser eyes right now? You
100
you would
or
just be
your
wrecking these dudes.
ice breath, which we're going to
Oh,
talk
that too.
about the nerfing of her
Oh, I
powers.
will come back to the sword though. I think it is
The
supposed to
sword
be
was so dumb.
the reason the story. I think the storytelling of it is it's justice served because it's her dad's sword. The dude killed the family,
I
so that's why
understand.
you use the
Yep.
sword. It's a symbolism of
It's
that.
yep.
It
I
doesn't like his death wouldn't mean so much if she just lasered off his face. Like you
it
got to
was
use a sword.
I'm not trying to say I'm a better writer, but I'm saying you have quirky, kind, just filled Superman who's saving squirrels last movie. You're not telling me she's not putting this guy on the ship, beaten up, torn down, and taking
What
him
do
to
you want?
Clark.
You want her
I
to?
want her taking him to Clark, and I want him put in the Phantom Zone. That's what I want.
Well, that's you can't put a guy like that in a Phantom Zone.
Okay, all right.
Max just wanted this dude to be thrown up in the air and her just lasered him until he was dust. That's what
I
Max wanted.
I thought it was so weird, weak, and totally against what. But to your credit, I think you're making an interesting point I haven't thought of, which is well, maybe they're trying to set something up where down the line there's going to be a choice where her and Clark are going at it,
It
and
has to be.
we know that she will make the hard choice, and
Yeah,
Clark won't, and so Clark will have to stop her,
right.
and
Which then will
that's
be
an interesting
detrimental to probably whatever situation they're in.
correct. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just wanted to rip that band-aid off because I think a lot of people are gonna go at it, and
I
almost
didn't
I
see
was
that big of an issue. I would have been more upset if like Ruthie ended up the one killing him. This happening, I was just like, well, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I would have been
Interesting though that like I didn't see anything like that. So
I wouldn't have liked it if Ruthie had done it,
no,
but would have understood it the way that movie started with the way her family got killed.
right.
What do you think of the fact that they nerfed her powers so much? That's another piece of feedback a lot of people have had. It felt like every 5 minutes there was
It
like a
got to
new
the
unique
point
way
to
that
me
hurt.
where it's just like, how are you not aware of that? How are you not aware of what systems you might be? But then it goes back to her being an unstructured young adult who doesn't really seem to pay attention and more thinks about themselves. Whereas, like, if she really did care, she would understand, like, hey, if I go to the solar system, there's a green freaking sun that's gonna take out my powers.
Yeah, I
But
was pretty
it's a
disappointed in
plot
that.
device, I think,
I
at
was
the end of the day.
so disappointed. Here's I wrote this as a note earlier because I was thinking about this as I was driving home, and I was like, I just need to put this stream of consciousness. One thing that I think is just really hard to like talk about with this, but I think is important to say, and I think I've only seen one person talk about this, but Supergirl was a sexualized IP. I think a lot of people need to remember that the origination of Supergirl, She-Hulk, all these like various 80s superheroines initially were viewed as sexual icons. I mean, read about Wonder Woman and her origin, like the guy that made her is kind of a weirdo. And like with all the bondage stuff that he had behind the scenes with him,
There's a whole movie about him, by the way.
it's freaky and weird.
Yeah.
And so I think just some people need to realize that Supergirl, I don't need my Supergirl to be a bimbo. I don't need her to be stupid. I don't even need her necessarily to be like fully nice, but I need her to have whimsical wonder. I appreciate in the comics, the not sexualized weird ones, where she has a curiosity to what the world is, and a curiosity to what is going on in the universe. And I feel like that was so missing in this. And not having that really, I feel, hurts this character overall. That's why I really have a hard time saying the actress is the problem, because I feel like James Gunn put all his eggs in the whimsical basket on Superman. Like, it's just kind of what I've learned in this is they said we're not having the two Kryptonians be filled with wonder and naivete.
Well, I think you get this. I get what you're saying, where it's like it kind of goes a little bit totally different to what the character is in the comics. But I think we get that in her flashbacks to basically what you find out is she's raised in the city that's post Krypton blowing up, that's in the bubble. She grows up there. She didn't grow up on a regular planet. She grows up in this secured location and then has to see everyone suffer and die because kryptonite's like affecting the soil and killing everybody. So,
which is that was a cool twist. I thought that was a really clever way to handle that problem.
And someone like that isn't going to be whimsical.
No.
Gets sent to another planet who's then still like in her teenage years, young, and now here's this adult.
I recognize that with the choice. I recognize that with the choice they made. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm just kind of more giving a reality check of like, when you don't have a major Superman, everyone's aware of the IP. Mm-hmm. So when they made the choice of Superman's parents are sending him to destroy a planet, that was a really, really big choice because everyone knew from like literally years prior to Justice League why they were doing that. I'm saying Supergirl is so unknown that some of these choices appear to be really angsty. Some people are like they're woke. Some people are like they're feminist, and I don't read it as that.
I've never once thought this movie had any wokeness or felt that. I mean, you could go like, "Oh, the storyline is men, kidnapping women." It's like, yeah, but that's a pretty easy protagonist. Like,
I do want to talk about the women thing in a bit because, yeah, I have a different thought on that. Not in the woke part, just more of like, huh? I'm saying I hope that Kara becomes more curious as she grows as a character, because I think that's very important for her character is in her growth. And with Superman, he's kind of older and like set in his ways, maybe is my way of saying it.
Like she's like even explains it's like he's only 8 years older than me. Why am I like looked at so much younger?
Right. Well, and I love how they explain the time thing too. I thought that was really smart. That was a really hard.
However, I do think you're going to get that because she's like, I want to come to Earth, and I think I feel like as the
viewer, got that vibe from
understand her. Like she wants to like experience that and really, really actually concentrate on maybe having those experiences and really being trusting in that.
I just think Millie Alcock is a great sad actress. She crushes scenes where you're looking at her eyes for pain. But I wrestle to see, where is she in the love category? Where is she in the care category? I'm going to need to see that from Supergirl in the future because she's aspiring to be like him. And you can't carry the cape. You can't do that. It just doesn't work to me. And I wrestle to see Millie Alcock doing that well. That being said, that could be a direction issue. It could very well be a direction and writing issue. And I may just be reading into the people behind the camera and how they decided to tell this movie versus what the actress was told to do. The last thing I wanted to talk about in terms of the women portion of it and the potentially politicized things is I find it very weird in 2 movies now. We've had 2 straight movies now where one of the key plot devices was someone collecting women to have sex with. It's just a little weird back-to-back movies. We did that with Superman, then we did it with this. With Superman, remember, it was like, oh, are you repopulating the earth? And like, that was a huge piece of the parents' message in the first Superman movie. And then in this one, you've got a tribe of really bad mustache twirling evil guys procreating with these young girls. These are
Well,
really heavy,
the
dark
whole shtick of
subject.
that thing was they're a male dominant society, so they
Correct.
they're basically breeders to keep the male population.
I'm just saying that's
going.
back-to-back movies where we've done that with Kryptonians, and it's just I'm not saying it's good or
I totally forgot about the other one.
definitely not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's a little weird that you did it twice in a row.
I wouldn't say it's exact same because like Superman's parents was like get a harem to like repopulate versus this one was not the same exact same
They're
thing,
they're
but
they're different
similar.
thoughts, but
Yeah,
it just feels weird to me. I'm gonna be weird.
that's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
I'm being real of like it's weird to me as I watched it.
Maybe there'll be the ongoing theme. Each movie has something like that.
It's like that's their Star Wars cutting the arm off thing. It's like
Yeah.
that's what they do with Superman movies. I really liked Superman, by the way, and I think Superman helps this movie a ton.
Mhm.
He helps. Part of the reason I'm like optimistic about this IP is because it's connected to Superman. Because I think David Corn Sweat is awesome. Every time he's on the screen, I'm like, this is great. How he talks to her is great. How he's like inviting her and including her in is great. Any thoughts on Superman, Mark? Before I move to the next character?
I thought Superman was used pretty well in this movie. Didn't overtake it, but clearly it's like we got to tell the audience that like, hey, they care about he cares about her. So like,
Right.
so when she makes the decision at the end of the movie to go back to Earth, it makes sense. So
I thought Lobo's fight scenes were great. I thought
Yeah.
Lobo was just there, just like, oh, and you nailed it. He's just like happens to be there every time they need him. He happens to be there.
Perfect comic book trope. He's there, and then he's involved in some of this. The best part I love that I saw some people hate it, where he like ends up in the prison on the ship, and it's like that's perfect. How else are we gonna show him or do whatever get him there? It's like that's just a comic book thing. He just happens to be in the prison too.
Momoa is so in his bag in this too. Momoa is like so pumped about this.
Well, you've heard
it's
that
hilarious.
he's wanted to play Lobo for like the
Yeah.
longest
Oh
time.
yeah.
And then he like reached out to James Gunn. And he's like, I think we can figure something out. So
Yeah, I think he was fun, but maybe not needed. But I don't care.
I think you did need someone there because then if you didn't have Lobo and you just had Supergirl, it's like then there shouldn't have been the third act because she would have
Sure.
been too powerful. I think you needed someone like that to kind of help, the whole defense of everything.
Yeah, I feel like with her powers, them nerfing it, Mark, they nerfed it technically once in Superman, but maybe I'm defending that. Maybe I'm defending Supergirl more here. I'm saying, why can't there be a Supergirl movie where her powers are? Why can't we have a well-written story where Supergirl's powers aren't pushed away for her character? Why can't we have both?
It goes back to my other comments. Like she's intentionally going to red sun solar systems to drink, and she's not aware that where she's going, even though she has X-ray vision. That hey, they're on a planet that has or in a solar system that has two suns or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just goes back to like that. Yes, it's a trope. So then it's like kind of a fair fight because otherwise, no one can defeat her. So then there's not. Then what is it? Just a bloodbath. And now she's gonna be on Earth where the only defense is whatever Lex has for kryptonite. So
I will say the death scene at the beginning with the family was brutal. Set Ruthie off to a great start of like, okay, this girl's going to be on a mission. We know she's going to be out for blood. I think of you every time I watch like dog things now because I know you and Kelly are just such big dog people. How did you feel about Crypto getting poisoned?
I know quarrels with that. Kelly probably would have. My beautiful wife Kelly probably would have if we would have saw it together. But my first thought was after that I was like, oh, this is gonna be like John Wick but in space with Supergirl.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Because basically that's the whole thing. She has 3 days to go get the antidote that Krem did, or like how he poisoned Crypto. So like then she's on her journey to go get that serum antidote.
There's the Infinity Bros review. John Wick in space with Supergirl. That's the Supergirl review for us.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked that. I really did like. I like the connection to Woman of Tomorrow. I think that's a great comic. Obviously, they left out a couple of things. Like obviously, they left out Comet. I think it's like a horse or something. I forget. How do I know the name and not the type? Comet. It's a horse. Yeah. Anyway, they left that out, which didn't work obviously for this one. But I think that was really, really wise to have her have a younger girl who is going through a similar trauma and having to have these conversations with, oh, this could potentially be me in 7-8 years.
Mhm.
I really liked that. I really, really enjoyed that and appreciated that dialogue and that foil, which I think to me, Mark, is why I have such big angst personally, forgive the pun, around how the ending was because I really did buy into that relationship as the movie went on.
Mhm.
Another thing I really liked was that fight on the transport bus with the
Oh yeah,
cyber pirates.
the techno
I
pirates.
loved how they came into the bus, like how they
Oh, that was great.
digitized. I was like, I haven't seen that before. That was really cool, and I really liked how she found a yellow sun, and that
Mhm.
was her introduction to them. Like when that happened, I was like, okay, we're back. We're good to go. This is it. This because up to that point, I was like, do you like that they kind of flopped their origin stories? I kind of communicated some frustration with that earlier. Do you like that? How do you feel today about the Superman choice for his parents to basically send him to be a ruler of a world, and then her
Mhm.
parents made this choice to make a force field, which we both vehemently agree will definitely be used with Brainiac down the line?
Right.
Like, what do you think
I
about
have,
that?
I have no quarrels. I respect the choice they made with Superman, where it shows that like, hey, he was raised on Earth and was raised with good morals. Then now hearing that his parents wanted him, that like was devastating to him. It's like I don't want to do that. Like I think that's
Yeah,
great. They really show the character of Clark and Superman, that like he truly is like people first, heavy heart to, basically bleeding heart, almost not to that point, but where I think what you need with Supergirl, where you needed her to have a more hardened life growing up in this bubble, city,
yeah,
living in space, and then her, it goes back to like she's got to be the one that puts the lasers through someone's face when Clark won't do that. So I'm fine with the flip of origin.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I have a problem with the decision. I just think it pigeonholed this movie. That's maybe what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
think
I
it
don't feel
really
like that way. I
pigeonholed
just
this
feel
movie.
like this was totally like a character building movie for Supergirl. It made you like, here's where she is now. Here's where we need her to be by the end. Like the whole plot of the story, I don't really feel affected too
And
much.
it doesn't feel. I don't know. It's weird. It doesn't feel like an origin movie.
I wouldn't say it's an origin, but basically it's like her character origin to what we want now. Like it's not like
Yeah,
beginning and end origin, but it's kind of split up in a way where you kind of get to there. But it's like it's all character development to show you that like, hey, when she comes back to Earth, she's ready to be the hero that Clark wants her to be,
yeah,
or knows that she can be.
maybe. Yeah, I that next Superman movie is going to be way fascinating because it feels like the general public is a little more negative about this movie, so I feel like they're going to have to really play some PR cleanup with that. And if she's in it, I'm assuming she's in it. They're going to have to really be intentional with her work. Yeah, it's so interesting.
How do you think this affects Peacemaker season 3?
Well, I am on the record. I am the Peacemaker hater on this show.
I know, but you,
So
you saw the latest season of it, right?
I've
You watched
not.
it.
I've not seen season 2. I need to. I need to.
Oh,
Yeah, I
buddy,
need to.
buddy, pal, you need to see that.
Yeah, yeah. I need to see it because I haven't gotten it spoiled, but I've seen scenes scrolling like of like stuff that
Right.
happens. I'm like, oh, okay. So I do need to see it. I will catch up on that. I think, and I'm glad you're asking this question because this does get into kind of my last point before we get into the weeds on where we think they could go, which is James Gunn really likes a certain style of hero. He has like this quirky group of heroes that he's just like, I love Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket and Groot, and
Every character is on the spectrum somewhere.
y- that's an
Mhm.
interesting thing I've never thought about before. But
Yep.
you're right;
So they're all over the place,
they're everywhere. And I
and it's
think if
great.
he, I'm not gonna say it's great. I
It's
think we're
great.
now.
It's
Okay,
great.
that's your opinion. My opinion is it's
Well,
not
some of
great.
us are right, and some of us cheer for America. Whatever.
I think this could be a potential issue for James Gunn. I felt like in this movie, the third act where the fight's happening and they do that. Oh, what song is it? Oh man, it's a reprise of a song. Girls looking around as Supergirl's just whooping up on all these guys, and it's incredibly paralleled to that scene with Mister Terrific and
Mm-hmm.
Lois Lane. And I love the scene. I think it's great, but I'm also it's either one of two things. One, it's either the same beat that James Gunn did, or that James Gunn, his universe is just going to have this, and maybe he's telling them behind the scenes, this is going to be, like we joke, this is going to be our Star Wars cutting off an arm thing. Every one of these movies is going to have one of these moments, right? I don't know, but it feels like James Gunn needed this movie in some respects to really land. This really had to land to build the greater universe. I don't know how much this built the greater universe for DC. And I really don't know. I think it connected to the next Superman movie. And maybe that's all it needs to do.
I feel like if that was his goal to expand this, you would have had more characters involved.
Yeah, and
You
but
would have
it,
just
but
had
it felt
Lobo
like
as
the
like the
first
special.
Superman, we had a ton of characters in Superman.
Right.
So I'm just trying to figure out what's his play here. Is he just obsessed with like a certain group? Like he's got that Commanders cartoon, and I'm like,
Yeah, Creature Commandos.
yeah, and like Batman 2's happening, but that's Matt Reeves. They've
Well,
basically
and
said
supposedly that's the extended universe.
yeah, that's not in this universe. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around like,
Yeah.
dude, the huge issue with Snyder was he was doing weird things with the IPs that everybody wanted. This isn't hard. Let's get the major IPs in this. I'm A-okay with Supergirl being in. I think she is in that category
Right.
of major IPs. I'm just saying,
I would say this after watching this movie.
I'm worried about this.
How do you get like Batman involved?
Yes,
With
they've
these
gone
level of
so far
heroes?
zoomed out. Yes.
Like how do you? But then again, you will watch like the, that 10-year run of the animated DC movies from like Flashpoint to Dark Avenger or Dark Justice League. My bad.
Dark Side War.
Yeah, that stuff, which was great. Like that whole run is great. It's just like you got to have Batman just be such an imposing figure, but also have the tech to keep up with everybody. Like you can't have Robert Pattinson's Batman. You have to have like a veteran, not old Batman, but like a veteran, skilled, too smart, like probably the smartest guy in the room type of person. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I just don't know. I think when Superman came out, I was like, good, James Gunn's got this. And now after watching this, I'm like, okay, we're getting a lot of the same beats. We're getting a lot of the same themes. Granted, Supergirl is a parallel to Superman, and Marvel does this too, where Tony Stark and Captain America kind of have opposite, things. So like, there's a yin yang to it. So they reference each other intentionally. I don't know if that's what they're trying. That's what they're trying to do. And so that's again why I'm okay with getting other movies. But even the aesthetic, it's like it's basically Guardians of the Galaxy aesthetic. Am I crazy with that? Like,
yeah, but that's what we kind of expected with James Gunn.
And I'm okay with that. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, is this a James Gunn movie that a director is having to come under and?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Maybe.
Like Marvel lets their directors do their thing in the universe.
Well, and it also could be coming from James Gunn being top dog, where he's like, I want a certain tone to follow these movies.
Right.
So that's what's going to be interesting when Clayface comes out, what that will be like. And this is another thing where I've gone with Batman. It's like, do you ever in James Gunn's world or universe, the DCU, do you give Batman his own movie, or is Batman going to be like the Hulk in the Marvel universe, where he shows up and is like partner sometimes, but he's never getting his own movie? I think I'd respect that if they're going to continue the Robert Pattinson universe.
I don't have a problem with Batman necessarily doing it that way. I'm just like, this Lantern show better be good. Like we have waited too long to have a good Lanterns project. You got the right people in the room, at least acting wise, in my opinion. You mess that up, then we got real serious problems. And if James Gunn just comes out at San Diego Comic-Con at the end of the summer or next year and goes like, all right, we're doing just a gobbledygook scuba-da-bop movie with scuba-da-beep and beep-a-da-boop and A24 people are in it. And
You're going to be mad if they do a Booster Gold movie?
Booster Gold is not a scuba-da-beep character. That's not true. I'm saying more like if he goes like,
we're doing a Condiment King movie.
Yeah, we're doing a Katana Jones movie. Only. We're doing a Steel movie. We're doing like, if it's Steel niche,
line with the super family. So
I don't want another super family movie. I want us to expand. Let's go Hawk Girl. Let's go Hawkman. Like, let's go the Atom. Let's
imagine if they brought the actor back to play Hawkman. That'd be great.
Yeah,
but I think he's something else. So
I just think there's so much IP in DC, and there is second, third tier IP. That's great. Booster Gold's a great example of that. I would welcome a Booster Gold show or movie. He's getting a little cute right now, is what I'll say. and it's not a strong start. And frankly, Mark, one of the things Supergirl suffers from that isn't Supergirl's fault is we've seen every type of superhero movie now.
We haven't gotten a horror superhero movie yet.
Well, I thought you said Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was really good.
That's not. I would never consider that horror.
But Sam Raimi did it.
Yeah, just because he's a horror director doesn't mean he made a horror movie.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting Clayface, so there you go. Once you get that, you'll be good.
Well, he's not a superhero. He's a villain.
There it is. There it is. I just think, I'm not saying James Gunn's not the guy. I'm just saying it's cute when you do it well. It's weird when you don't do it well. And I don't think this was done well. And I understand he didn't direct it, but he is the one responsible at the end of the day.
Supergirl better or worse than Black Adam?
Oh, better. That's a low bar, Mark. Okay, I did do this, Mark. I did do this. So I put together the entire list of every female-led movie and TV show from Marvel and DC.
Okay, for everything.
No, for everything. I actually could if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. So this is dating back to 1984's original Supergirl movie.
Mm-hmm.
These are the critic rating scores. You want to take a guess at the top 5, and this is TV shows and movies for clarity.
Top 5 female-led series
MCU, DC shows and movies.
I'm guessing WandaVision's up there.
WandaVision is not up there.
For
WandaVision does
critic?
not count.
WandaVision's a female-led show.
All right, let me see what they're.
Yeah, go STFU yourself. WandaVision's probably number 1. That's probably why he left it off the list.
No, you're gonna know what number 1 is, and you're gonna eye roll alongside me.
Oh, it's probably Captain Marvel.
Nope.
Oh, it's not.
It's not.
Right, so you said eye roll with you. Wow, I missed that.
Yep.
Is it like a Wonder Woman 84 or something like that?
Nope. Okay, I'll just give it to you.
Just give it to me.
I'll just give it to you, and you can react. Okay. Number 1 is Miss Marvel, 98%.
Yep. What a show! What a show that like the first 3 episodes, I was like, "This is so great! This is so great!" And then like it just like the plane crashed.
You have always made the argument with me that critic scores mean nothing, and that fan scores matter more. And probably the best example you have of this is this rating.
Mm-hmm.
This is your Mona Lisa.
And I have nothing wrong with the actors who played their characters. Nothing.
No,
it's like the story and the writing.
You can go back. You can go back and listen to our rating of this show. We were saying it that year. We have not. Actually, I'm really proud of us. We haven't shifted at all on how we think on that.
Yeah, I just recently watched it a few months ago, and I was just like, I still feel the same way about this.
Oh, 100%. I was like, I got bamboozled halfway through.
Yeah,
I feel like I got absolutely hosed. And then at the end, they do the little X-Men thing. Oh my gosh. Wonder Woman is 94%.
The first one, I would take that. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, that one was good.
Jessica Jones, 92%. Season 1.
Season 1, yeah, that's probably good. Yeah.
Supergirl, the show on DC CW 2015.
Oh yeah, with Melissa Bonet or whatever.
Correct. 92%. Good show.
Yeah.
Then it has a massive drop. We're not 80%.
WandaVision.
I'm not calling it. WandaVision was 92%. I looked
Okay.
that up. So no WandaVision's on there, but I thought I said that. I apologize. Captain Marvel would be 79%. Black Widow would be 79%. Birds of Prey, 78%.
Like the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey or the
Yes.
TV show?
Yep. And I have vehemently been anti Birds of Prey guy. I think that movie, the only thing people talk about is a breakfast sandwich in that movie. Echo somehow had 79% too.
Another show where I was just like,
blows me away at how bad that show was.
Yeah.
That show was brutal. The Marvels, which
I love the Marvels. I like
it. I don't love it.
I love it.
I will say this about the Marvels. The Marvels the Flurkin scene where they eat everybody is one of the funniest things Marvel's ever done.
Oh, and they do the Cats theme.
Yeah, it is one of the funniest scenes Marvel, the MCU, has ever done.
It's also where we got our first real X-Men in
Correct.
In MCU.
Correct. She-Hulk at 67%.
Which is criminally underrated. I think
because I think you and I are on we're on the bandwagon of.
That's the one where it's like I want more of these. This is great.
It was so funny. When I was in Germany on a missions trip a couple weeks ago. One of my students looks at me and goes, "You like She-Hulk? That's so woke." And I was like,
"So woke."
Shut up. I was like, literally read a comic book.
You just look at it and be like, I already gave your social to Mark Jones.
I told him, I looked at him, I said, like, I've had students at, because I'm a pastor at the school I've had students go, well, like, I think this person's the best. I'm like, I just know more than you, and I'm not going to fight on you with you on this.
Yeah.
Like, you literally don't know what you're talking about. You're just regurgitating something you read.
I never understood the hate for She-Hulk. Like,
you and I have been saying this for multiple years. I'm like, where's season 2?
Yeah. Well,
where's season 2? We're never going to get it. I want it. And then after all that list, then you get to Supergirl at 58%, which is its current placement. So in theory, that could fluctuate up or down. I don't see it going above the Marvels at 62% probably.
Do you think that rating comes due to because who the owner of Paramount is?
No, I don't. I think that's because of the things I've said. I think it's because of the third act. I think its story is not there fully, and I think there's elements of a good movie here, but it didn't get put together completely the way it should. That's why. So let me name some movies that you could tell me, and shows that you could tell me were better or worse. Mark, are you ready?
Sure.
We're going to go from bottom to top. So the lowest ever female-led movie TV show is?
The lowest one?
Lowest one ever.
And TV show. Can you give me...
Movie or TV show? It is a movie.
Can you give me a time frame of years?
2004.
Ooh. Was it Elektra or the Birds of Prey TV show from the early thousands?
Catwoman.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
9%.
Whoever said Supergirl was the worst superhero movie forgot about that.
Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. No, don't worry. We've got others. Here we go. The next movie, 2005.
Movie. I guess that might be Elektra then, right?
That is Elektra. 10%.
Which is the one where I thought wasn't bad, but people.
Then let's jump ahead to 2024. Deductive reasoning should come quickly for you.
And it's not. Is it the Marvels?
It was a Sony released movie. It was a Sony released movie in 2024.
Madam Web.
Whatever
that movie was called. That movie was bad. That's also another movie that person, whoever said that, didn't see.
13% for that.
That was I watched that movie on Netflix like a few months or a year ago, and I was just like, how does this get greenlit? People had to watch this and be like, we'll put this in theaters. This will make money.
Crazy. Criminal.
It just goes back to Sony has to make Marvel or Spider-Man IP to keep Spider-Man in-house. It's just...
Every time. Number 14 on the list, number 4 on our list, ranked at 36%, released in 1984.
Oh, the original Supergirl movie?
The original Supergirl, that's correct. And then finally, number 5, 46%, TV show released by the CW.
By the CW? And female-led? Was it I had to go back to the Birds of Prey TV show.
It was Batwoman.
Oh, yeah, that show was awful. That deserves a lower rating.
Yeah, 46% I felt was incredibly high for that show. And then we didn't talk about Wonder Woman 1984, listed at 58%. I'm going to be honest with you, Mark. If I made a bottom 5 female-led movie list, Wonder Woman 1984 is making my list.
That's another one where, how did you drop the ball so hard?
They failed miserably with that movie. I remember that review too, because I believe Infinity Bro Jarrett was on that with us. He tried to give a good rating, and halfway through, I was like, Jarrett, this movie's bad. We just gotta have a serious conversation here of nope, this is just a bad movie.
That's a movie where Pedro Pascal will never be without a beard anymore.
Yep.
That's how bad the movie is.
Yeah. And that movie probably ruined Gal Gadot's chances of ever coming back.
And I thought she did a good job at Wonder Woman, but
she's my Wonder Woman.
Now to find someone else who's 6'2" and burly to be Wonder Woman.
A lot of people will be like Linda Carter. I'm like, nope. Yeah, so that's the list. I will say, I made a list. You just made the list. I hope James Gunn can get some of this figured out, and he's earned the right to make mistakes early. I wouldn't call this movie a mistake. I would call it just has some cleaning up to do and probably some really good lessons for the long haul. But I just want to see an extended universe. But look, one of my rules when it comes to these types of universes is every movie's got to connect to something else. So I appreciated that Krypto was in this movie because Krypto connected to Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I appreciate that Superman was in this movie. So I think it did do that. I think it did connect. But what's our bigger play? They don't need to do that second or third movie, but we do need, I hope Brainiac starts to reveal a bigger, wider universe. I don't know if Darkseid's the play for them though, Mark. Because I mean, like,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, because you give a space for a reason, and I feel like for DC, the first thing goes to like, well, where's Apocalypse? Where's his world and moving planet? Like, how do you involve him without then having to like force another Justice League movie where it's like maybe they're building to that, just like the MCU did so good at. So
well, and you know what? Maybe they do kind of like a Justice League Unlimited kind of shtick where it's not the stereotypical Justice League. It's a little more of a, or like a CW Justice League. It's like kind of a grab bag of
I'm fine with
certain
that.
characters. I don't have an issue with it.
But that is the other thing though, like where I feel like I'm questioning how they're not going to push themselves in a corner when you have 2 Kryptonians on your Justice League. So basically, any world threat is like, who cares? Like, just send one of them to fight it off, and you'll be fine.
And is every one of these movies going to be show me a unique way that we can take away their powers with kryptonite or?
And I would like that. And that goes back to your Justice League Unlimited. Will we have this? Will we get to that point where they have a space station, and there's problems that happen on Earth that certain heroes deal with, and then there's space problems that involve the Green Lantern and the Kryptonians and Batman, and for some reason. But that's who deals with that stuff.
You are not wrong, and I've never thought of it this way. But Batman, where does he fit in with this universe?
That's what I wouldn't be surprised if he rarely or if ever gets showed up, or like that's a shtick. They just mention him but never have him show up because he's.
Well, he needs to be in the universe.
Well, I agree with you, but I just go back to like, I don't think you could solo movie him in this universe. I think he's got to be like a character who's along for the ride type of thing, like a Hulk.
How soon do they go back to the Flash after that brutal movie?
No, I mean, it's just a Flash. Who cares? That's how I feel about that.
I am too. I'm like, nah, we can get rid of it if you give us a good one. We're cool with it. I'm right there with you.
I don't want a Flash movie. Just get a Flash character. Like, that's the whole thing. You don't need to get.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. That's why I feel like how he might be going with this. If he's, I don't know, this be my train of thought. It's like, just do his ensemble movies. Like, each time it's just like here's the 4 superheroes we're going to use for this movie, and then that's who's in it.
They've done that 2 times. Called Superman, they called it Supergirl, and they put other people in it. So you're not wrong.
But going back to that, Superman had a ton of different heroes from the universe.
Oh yeah, I loved.
Supergirl didn't. Supergirl had just Lobo, who I wouldn't really consider a main player in this movie, like you did with Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, and Green Lantern. Another one.
Mr. Terrific and Green Lantern were huge reasons why I loved that movie. I mean, Mr. Terrific was he was so good. So good. And Lex Luthor was so good. Nick Holt. Like, there's a lot of good happening in this universe. And I really hope Lanterns, which is up next on HBO, can raise the bar and do that well. I hope they can. Do you think
Lanterns had to deal with Bizarro that, got sucked out into a...
Yeah, I don't know. I hope Bizarro's down the line. Like, I'd be cool if, like, Superman 3 dealt with him. That'd be a lot of fun. Well, what did you think of Supergirl Infinity Bros Universe? We'd love to hear your thoughts. infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com is our email. You can also check us out on Instagram, Facebook, or X. Mark, thank you for taking time to talk about Supergirl with me today, and I wish you well the rest of the week.
Hey, Max, I'm glad I was here today, and I'm glad we were able to talk, and I can't wait to do this in a few more days to talk about Toy Story 5.
We're going to be right back here. Come back for Toy Story 5. Should be releasing pretty quick after this one. We're looking forward to talking about that. And yeah, it's going to be great. So, hey, as always, we love you guys 3000. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infinity Bros podcast. You can find the Infinity Bros on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube at The Infinity Bros. You can also check out our website at theinfinitybros.com for links, reviews, and sweet merch. Feel free to send us listener feedback via social media or email at infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com.